Alright, good morning. It's 6 a.m. or no, 6:49. Anyway, I got a few minutes. I'm going to quickly lay out a bunch of hinge blocks. There's a spot here where I have a control horn and a hinge, so I'm going to cut the block to fit this way. I'll figure that out. Maybe even go the other way. Anyway, I'll put a block there, get all these blocks in place, check all my work, and then maybe later in the day I'll be able to clip all the former legs off and skin the other side, and then cut the control surfaces out and put on the leading edge. So I'm going to do flaps, ailerons, and the tail surfaces. Alright, let's get started. Okay, I've got the hinge blocks in. This one here. I think if I were to fly this 3D, I would add a hinge, another one near this control horn. I don't know. It could be a weak spot. That was getting the wings completed. You can see my progression on this detail. I have to notch this piece to get around the corner, and this piece is short by the equal amount of the notch. As I progressed, I alternated the notch. So this piece got a notch, and this piece got an opposite notch. Brought everything together, cleaned up this edge. This one, I sprayed the edges to roll them in tight. So that's the wings sheeted, and they're quite straight. I'm quite happy with that. The next step will be the ends of everything. In the past, I've cut all my spars. See if I can set this down right over here. I've cut all my spars back to the rib, and then I've tapered everything out, and that creates a lot of cutting, and it became a complex thing to finish. So on this one, I will be doing the flat piece into nothing, so I can add lighting if I want, or various other things quite easily on a flat surface. I think that's what Tom and Maxie do. Anyway, yeah, so that part is done. Wings are sheathed, everything's sheathed. The construction is basically done. I did notch these out so I can get the control horns in. So that part is complete. The next thing is getting all of my parts trimmed flush, adjusting these tubes to the correct length, gluing them in, same with this one, and then the great task of slowly fitting all the pieces. And once everything's fit, that has a tab, I'll get the tabs so they go in nicely, and then I'll glue them. In the past, I've glued them in first, and then I end up fighting, trying to get everything to slide in nicely. So this way I'll fit everything, and then I'll add the tab, wings, and the tail. That's it. Yeah, all right. Until later this evening, yeah, I'll get back to it. Right, since the last video, that would be around lunchtime today. It's 7 p.m. now. Did a full day of work. I sanded these ends, and I quickly did the little band on everything, just how Tom shows in his instructions. So I like that. I'll keep going with that. And then I'll fill these front edges as well, get that all cleaned up. This process here of fitting these, it's just time consuming. You just kind of work your way in a little bit at a time, making sure that you have the elevator not twisted, as in line as possible. Scribing and cutting and sanding. It goes really quick once you get started, but it is a process. The wings are really close. I don't expect that to take very long at all. The rudder fin is quite close as well. I just have this little corner here. I'll grind that, clean it up so that the rudder slides forward and drops in. And then you can see right here the gap. Get that tightened up. I'm going to sand the back end of this, but that's easy. Here's the other wing. As you can see, it's really close right now. And the specs again of the model. It doesn't seem as big when it's all together, but it is quite a large model. You can see, get it all in the frame there. Alright, so a few things to note. One, I added material here to get the nose to fit really nicely. I don't know if that really shows well, but that's the idea. Two, right here, notching your top sheet and bottom sheet so that you end up on this one rib. 3, I added a little tiny rib on the inside just to carry the sheathing. 4 was, you might be able to see it here. Yeah, the control horn slots. They did line up, but when you lined up the control horn slots, the sheathing for the flap didn't land in the gap. It was off. So I moved everything outboard 2.5 mils just to get this sheathing to the outside edge of that rib, which in turn made these not line up. I could have cut 2.5 mil off these and slid everything back in. Looking back, that would probably be the way to go. But you're kind of committed to making this sheet work, and the hole for the bolt doesn't quite line up, but that's fine. Yeah, the next process, which I'm not really going to do a big video on, is just the finishing, filling, sanding, filling, sanding. I feel like the control surface cutouts are rather elementary as well. Basically, you just cut the line, cut down this seam where the ribs come through, cut this off, sand that edge so it's nice and flat. Get this piece fit in there, and you'll have to trim it to length, and then once it's in, you have to, I'll probably end up using, we'll see, either sand it or I'll use a small plane, because the thickness where it mounts at this end is thinner than the width across here, so this triangle needs to shrink quite a lot. I just line them up on the hinge pins and then just start working, peeling it off, sanding it, whatever you want to do to get the line to follow the sheathing on both sides. It's just a long process, but if you've gotten this far, it's pretty straightforward. It's just a matter of putting in the time. Yeah, so I'll leave everything together like this till everything's fit, just because it looks nice and it's kind of rewarding to see it like this. Anyway, thank you for watching the assembly and paying attention to the details I've made notes of. I hope this encourages some of you out there to take on building a model of this size. It's rather rewarding. It's a lot of fun. I still have to do all the gluing on the internal structure here, but again, no need to do a video on that. You saw how I did it on the wings. It's just a matter of putting in the time. I'll do it up here as well. And just for reference, this is the canopy for the model, and this is the Interceptor 90. So the canopy alone is larger than the Interceptor 90. You can see there all the way to there. Kind of funny. Anyhow, thanks again.